Hey concrete fans, welcome to the Joy of Concrete. This is Mr. Concrete.
And Rat Girl.
And today we're gonna you asked, we'll answer the age-old question, in my concrete art practice, can I just buy a bag of concrete from the local hardware store? And what would the results be? So we're just going to compare. We're going to do a comparison because people want to know, why is our concrete expensive? They're like, it's too expensive. I can buy a bag of concrete from local hardware store for a fraction of what your concrete costs. So we're going to show you why. First, let's do a little comparison of the dry mixes. Here is, take that one. This is our mix, gray matter, specially formulated and developed over years to make concrete art.
Yeah.
And this is a mix by Quikrete. This is their high strength mix. It's a general purpose construction mix, allegedly high strength.
Yeah.
Notice anything?
Rocks. There's a lot more rocks in here.
Look how much gravel is in this mix. It is a lot. So there's a couple takeaways you can take away from that. Number one, could you put rocks in here? You could. Yeah. You could put rocks in here. If you were casting a big object and you weren't worried about fine detail in the mold, if the mold didn't have any detail, let's say you're making a fence post pile, a place that your fence post sits into to keep it steady. Sure, have a bunch of rocks. Yeah. This is maybe overkill, a mix like this. But the reason why we do that is, like, rocks, they do help a little bit in the mix, but primarily it's filler. This is just filling up loose space because cement and admixture is expensive.
Yeah, there's like half of what we would need in there. All rocks.
So the other big difference, take a pinch of just try the finest material in there. Yeah. And rub it through your fingers. Rub it around.
It's focused, yeah.
How's it feel?
It feels nice and soft.
Fine.
It feels fine.
We use a very fine gauge of sand. There is some sand in here, not nearly as much sand that's in here. Yeah. Less sand, way more sand. Give a pinch of just try to not get any rocks.
Pretty hard, but this almost feels like sand at the beach. It's rough. It's not as fine. It's probably 2 times bigger in grain when you rub it.
So that too, could we put more sand in here? We could put more sand in here. Now, here's a big thing. People say this all the time. Hey, Mr. Concrete. Hey, Rat Girl, that's not concrete. That's mortar mix. That's just cement. No, it's not. No. Don't quit saying that, because it's not. There is gravel in here. It's just very, very fine and very, very little. But
we have hemp too. There's other stuff in there, you know.
I can find a piece. There's a piece of gravel. Yeah. That's probably about the biggest piece of gravel you'll ever find. If you wanted to make a mix and put a lot of decorative aggregates in it and load up with aggregates in here, you 100% can. You probably have enough room in this mix to add, by volume, close to 50% more aggregate. That can be a mix of both sand and rock. And yeah, you brought up hemp. Yeah. There's a nice big hemp fiber.
Tell them why it's good.
The hemp fiber is nice because this increases the tensile strength of your mix. Yeah. Tensile strength helps guard against cracking. Even the hemp fiber, just having it in there, is still going to guard against cracking, surface cracking, even if you are not worried about your tensile strength. Tensile strength is for bridging gaps. It's for adding tensile strength on long, flat things. That's why we have hemp fiber. It's built right in. I think it's super useful. We get this from hemp farms, and this is an agricultural byproduct. It is recycled and cleaned and then cut, and then we purchase it and we add it into our mix.
And no, it's not hair. There have been questions.
But it's a nice thing. You'll notice a bit of difference in color too, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's basically sand.
It's basically sand. Yeah. And also, this mix is not made to pigment. You can pigment it, but the challenge with pigmenting these types of mixes is that you don't know what the base color is going to be. And it will change, like batch to batch, quarter to quarter. Every new batch of this that's made, they're not color correct because it's not something that's needed for a hardware store mix.
But let us know. I mean, for this video, we bought a decently big bag. If you want us to make a video experimenting on how to pigment this compared to ours too, we won't do it today, but we could do it by request if you guys are interested.
100%. This, on the other hand, is color correct. We ensure with the engineering company that makes this for us, one of our requests, and part of the reason why it kind of drives our cost a bit, is that I want this to be the same color every quarter, every year, year after year. It's got to be the same because I can't reformulate our pigment loads every time we get a new batch of concrete. Can you imagine?
Yeah, so there's that too. We're also giving you that in our mix. You have that certainty that, you know, your recipes are always going to work. Right? In a year from now, it's always going to be the same, which is consistent, and you don't really get that with these kinds of mix.
If you're an artist, you want that kind of consistency.
Oh yeah.
Let's. Which do you want to mix, Rat Girl? Do you want to mix the nice stuff?
I kind of.
Or do you want to mix the...
I want to mix the nice stuff because you told me before the video that it takes more water. So I don't want to like drown the concrete.
Here's our mixing buckets. These are recycled Quadacook. Great ice cream.
Pistachio is the best. Is it pistachio or pistachio?
It's pistachio.
Someone's going to get mad.
Hard ice cream is really great, but you know that they supply most soft serve. Most soft serve is supplied by Quadacook.
Yeah, like in restaurants and
ice cream shops, and on top of it, their soft serve is actually there's different formulations. So as a soft serve, someone has an ice cream shop, there's different formulations of soft serve that you can get that have different fat contents or creamier, smoother.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool. I love ice cream. Yeah. And you can go there and eat as much ice cream as you want.
Whew. On a hot day like this, I'd love to. It
is so hot out. So what we're gonna do?
Yeah, we have to say what we're gonna make.
We're gonna make. This is our standard. You know, these molds have seen a lot of action.
Oh yeah.
This mold's probably 5 or 6 years old at this point.
It's an archive.
Yeah, I've been using this one for a long time. This one too. This one would be used probably not quite as long.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of mold breakdown. It's seen a lot of castings. It's seen a lot of rough handling for experimentation. So it's starting to break down, but still got a lot of life in it. Let's. Here, I'll give you the nicer one. I'll use the jank one.
Yeah, when choosing the mold, we wanted something that's like pretty big too, like so that we could actually get a decent review, not something too flat. Like we wanted some sort. Like here, you can see this has like some cool surfaces. So
I'm gonna just kind of guess.
Yeah, me too.
I know that'll be enough.
That's probably enough.
I think so. Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
I take out the rocks. Shit. You're keeping the rocks.
Well, no, they're in the mix. I gotta keep them.
Oh, all of them?
Yeah. Well, could you imagine how long it would take to strain out all these stupid rocks? And if I'm doing that, I might as well just buy. I don't know. Maybe I should buy mortar mix and just add stuff into it. But no, I'm keeping the rocks. If the question is, can we use hardware store concrete? Let's keep the rocks.
Okay.
So we're not going to pigment this, but we will pigment at a later date if you want to see that. But we want to just see what's the two colors, what's the base tones. So one of the big differences that you're going to notice when we start mixing this is that this mix has plasticizers and water reducers. That's gonna make it so to get this mix to be fluid and flowing and move around, we don't need as much water. Too much water in your mix, shitty castings. You want the perfect amount of water, which is basically kind of the bare minimum. You want to get just enough water. If your concrete mix is too wet, it's awful. So I think I want to be careful.
Yeah.
So
looks kind of gross.
Nice, right?
Look how pretty ours is.
So let's take a little scoop out. Let's bring it up to the camera. What's your color? Yeah, so there's a big difference. Still brown, kind of a taupey color. Very much a dark brown.
Good thumbnail right now.
That is the thumbnail, maybe.
Yeah.
You're looking pretty good.
I think it's good. Like,
so
I just want it to be nice and soft, so doesn't hurt to just stab a little, make sure you don't have any clumps.
What's an important rule about mixing concrete?
We're gonna let it sit a little bit.
We're gonna let it sit a little bit.
I didn't say chill today.
We are gonna let it sit a little bit just to make sure it's all nice and hydrated. You don't have to work that quickly. This mix is gonna set, our mix has a very fast cure time. This mix, not even close.
Yeah.
You've got about, on a wet mix with gray matter, if it's not crazy hot, let's say it's 21, 22 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I'm gonna talk in Celsius because we're from Canada. And Celsius makes sense that, you know, it freezes at 0, water boils at 100. These kind of things make sense, Celsius. At 21, 22 degrees Celsius, you've got about 45 minutes of work time. 45 minutes before this really starts to set up and become unmanageable.
That's still a lot. I thought it would be shorter than that.
It's a lot, as long as, like, I find in 40 minutes, I can cast, I don't know. If I'm doing objects, I can probably do about 200 pounds. 2 people can do about 200 pounds of objects.
People,
yeah, you got to be careful because things can get away on you.
Well, here's a question I could ask from a naive perspective.
Yeah.
How come it cures faster than something that has a bunch of rocks?
We have some of the cement in here as a high early cement. It has other accelerants in it to help speed it up. We do that because one of the first things, I wanted a mix that sets up very quickly, because as an artist, one of the first things I ran into was working with hardware store, because I did start working with hardware store concrete when I first started working with concrete, is that to take these out of a mold, I really had to let it sit for, like, honestly, 48 hours at bare minimum.
Yeah.
And if you're working with anything that is going to be carrying a tensile load, like a load across, like let's say I was doing a slab, a big table, you need to leave it a week. There's no way. There's no
wild,
way.
Yeah.
A table, you can make a table out of our gray matter.
In a day.
Yes. You can demold it in like 7-8 hours for a table. You still want to be a little bit careful, but like the difference in strength to these two is like 5 to 1, 6 to 1.
Yeah.
Our final cure strength on this in PSI, if we kept it covered and kept it a little bit misted and let it really, really cure up well and gave it a few days to cure, after about 4 days, we can get up to about 10,000 PSI. You're lucky if you hit maybe 3,000 PSI
with that.
Total, ever. It's very, very different. And then on the long, like after a 28 day, this mix under nice curing conditions, and if you mix the mix properly to begin with, we can get up to close to 14,000 PSI, which is incredible.
That's literally the 5 to 1 you were talking about.
Yeah. So it gets pretty nuts.
So I think we're ready here.
I guess I'm gonna add a little bit more water because I still want to try to flow into all of the parts of this mold.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused how.
But I have to be super careful because this mix is gonna separate without plasticizers.
Yeah, it's not gonna bond
and water
right away.
reducers. The mix is gonna want to come out of suspension. But,
yeah, we can do one last close up.
Okay, one last tasty close up.
Check it out.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna fill. Oh shoot.
So I'm probably gonna rub still because there are some edges. Just gonna do an inner rub, but it's a solid color, so.
I'm gonna try it too. I'm still gonna use best practices.
Yeah. Rub them.
And yeah, we're doing solid colors, so it's no problems. But yeah, let's rub into those edges. You notice I'm filling kind of slowly, so are you.
Yeah.
It's nice to fill it. It's nice to fill it to like a third full and then get the air out now.
And also think of it. The first layer is the first thing you'll see in your object.
You want
you want it to be good.
Yeah, you want your top edge to look really nice.
It's a bowl. I don't want holes in the first section of the bowl.
Add a little more. But think of how much money I'm going to save by using this crusty concrete.
Yeah.
This is going to be way cheaper.
Definitely.
Worth it, right? Because it's your raw material inputs that are so expensive, not your actual labor, your finite amount of time that you have in your life. Are you willing to throw away a part of your life to work with subpar concrete?
Or a life without color, because we did say it's also very difficult to pigment.
Very difficult to pigment.
So if you're cool with the uncertainty of a bunch of shades of gray or beige, I don't know what this color's looking like.
This is...
Might be a bit tan.
It's like a really dark tan.
Yeah.
I think it's getting there.
It's looking interesting.
Oh no, we'll get something out of this. I still want to make a great casting. That's still my goal.
It's happening. Ooh, I had just the right amount. That is very accomplishing. Well, that's looking good.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Right.
We can get it. The rocks will start to all sit down, and then our cement and sand should flow between them. If we were to draw this out on paper, I can just do a little diagram, maybe with objects.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's say these are our gravel. Let's say this is then sand. This is what kind of the matrix of a conventional mix would look like. You get rocks, you get your bigger aggregate, you get our smaller aggregate, and then you get cement that flows all in between this, and that is your matrix, that is your concrete. This just has a much finer matrix in this. Finer matrix, finer detail, better edges, cleaner. Larger matrix, you know, bigger stuff, steps, driveways.
Yeah.
Fence
The
posts.
weight's probably really different. Oh, wow.
Is it quite different?
Oh yeah, it's probably 2 times heavier. It's the rocks.
I suppose, although it shouldn't be that much. Like, here, you know what? We got a scale.
Okay, maybe like...
Although I think the scale has a very low, how do you turn this thing on? Oh, there we go. I don't think the scale goes high enough to weigh this.
Let's see.
Let's see. No.
No.
Shit. I mean, pardon me.
Beep
it. Beep it out.
Beep.
Okay. Here, I can. Oh, yeah. It is different.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
I would say...
Maybe like point...
I'd say like 50% heavier.
Yeah.
Like, this weighs 1.5 of these.
Yeah. Well, nice.
Okay. And we're going to cover these there. Hey, concrete fans. We are back. It has been... How long has it been?
It's been 6.5 hours. We did a lot of stuff in between, so...
Yes. Any predictions? What we're going to see under here?
Okay. I think definitely one's going to be a lot lighter. Our mix is going to be lighter in color. And then I'm going to guess the color. I'm saying a light tan, sandy beach brown for the left side.
Okay.
Maybe it's not on the left side anymore. I don't know what happened in here, but...
I hope it's cured enough that we can demold it. That's my biggest... 'cause 6.5 hours is fine for gray matter. For hardware store concrete, general purpose concrete, probably not fine.
You don't think it's ready? Oh, well...
Is it first?
It's...
Well, number one, I shouldn't be able
to do that.
To scoop anything off. So here's what we're going to do. Maybe we won't... It's not even going to be cured.
No, we can't take it out.
No, I can't take it out.
Okay.
Wait. It might be wacky. But what if I record it with my phone?
So, as you can see, we can't pop this out. And it's the weekend. Rat Girl's going away for the weekend. So what Mr. Concrete's going to do...
I sleep in the studio, so I'll be here. But... I don't want to wreck this. I want it to at least be a real-ish comparison. So I've got the little mini tripod. I'll put my phone on the tripod. I'll record the end of it there. You take the big camera.
Yeah.
We got this. It's the same. Let's cover them back up.
Okay, so transition to an Android phone.
Let's see what the video quality is going to be. Hey, concrete fans. It is me, Mr. Concrete, by myself, recording this vid. Yeah, I am recording on a phone because I don't have a camera. Rat Girl has her camera. She's doing her thing. We weren't able to film this on the same day because construction grade concrete did not want to come out of the mold after 6 hours. It was crusty as crust, It would have just been mush. It would have came apart as mush, and that would have been no comparison. So we've got 3 days. 3 days here, I guess 2, 3, somewhere there. And now let's do a comparison. Let's demold. Let's start with a gray matter. I have a feeling this should be nice. It's coming out pretty clean. Oh, there we go. Give it a little. Oof. Voila. Pretty clean casting. No voids. A little bit of spotting, but I think that's going to go away as it has time to sit. But there is basically a perfect casting. Not a void on it. Kind of the power. That's the power of gray matter right there. Although we should be able to do that with this too, but let's see. I left it gray, didn't pigment it because, well, we wanted to do as we just want to evaluate the concrete. So first things, all right, it's demolding. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. And let's bring it out. Okay. Hey, not bad. Not bad at all. There it is. Holding some water. A little bit of voids, but pretty clean. Pretty clean. I would say here's where we're going to start. Let's do a little comparison. Comparison number one. One of the things you can kind of tell with concrete is you can tell how hard it is by just kind of listening to the noise it makes when you tap it with a hammer or something hard. Kind of a dead sound. You can really hear the bounce back on this. And listen to this. Pretty similar. Just check it for strength. It's not bad. Feels pretty strong. Really crusty down here, where it looks like I'm just able to bust this apart with a butter knife. This one I'm gonna definitely much harder. Can I break it apart, you think? Just kind of feels crusty. It feels like the surface is just going to sand away. Like I'm able to just erode it. And it took way longer, and it's not cured yet either. Here, let's look at this. Pour a bit of water on it. I rub it. If I pour water on it, I rub it with a cloth. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm basically sanding it down with a cloth. Gray matter? Not a chance. Not on your life. Quite a bit darker. Not quite as clean. A little bit crusty. Very forgiving shape to cast into. But there you have it. Side-by-side comparison. Should I break it? Want me to break it? Should I break them? Let's break them. 2 hits. Breaks in half. I might be able to break this in 2 hits too. There you go. So, similar, a lot longer cure time, not as strong, and a lot of filler. You could add more filler to this if you want to save money, but here, look at this. There, you can see the differences in gravel used between the two. We do have, you can see, look at all there's little bits of sand and gravel in there. You can see it. There's our little bits of gravel and sand. And here's construction grade concrete, gravel and sand, big chunks. What a mess. There's the comparison. Would I recommend using hardware store concrete to make concrete things? I would say it depends what you're after. It's doable. It's doable. It potentially is inexpensive, but I just don't like how soft it is. Like this is like, look at this. It's just mud. It's like it still is. It's cured, but man, it's like this stuff. Yeah. What do you think? I'll tell you this much. There's a reason why I don't use this concrete. And there's a reason why I use gray matter. That's it. Plain and simple. Bye everybody, hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more comparisons, do more stress testing and comparisons, or want us to test something with our mix, let me know. Happy to hear from you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Have fun with concrete. Bye-bye.